Well, it's kind of early this morning. It's almost 9:30, and as you can see, it probably kind of looks like I slept in my shirt, which I did. Kind of put on this blanket to cover my pajama pants, so that's kind of what I'm in, and decided I'd come on here and try to do a little short video because it's not going to be that long till I have to kind of get ready and go to work. But I decided I'd come on here this morning and show you all that I've already done a little more work into these foxes, kind of like just worked on their legs and their bodies a little bit, because it was kind of some work I needed to do, and kind of had to do it away from the camera so we wouldn't have too much complication. I do believe the problem last time around was that I needed to sharpen my knives, which while I was off camera this morning I did. We got that taken care of, so I'm going to kind of demonstrate here how we carve the tails. This is kind of the way it comes along, just kind of carving along the edge to start with. That's kind of how it goes, and little work comes a long way, and we take care of it as it needs to be. I decided the way I start out is by kind of just carving along the edges to make the tails a little thinner than the body. That's kind of how it goes, all about this work. And how to kind of shave along the lines. We don't know much about this, but we carry it through. It's probably a morning when I probably sound a little low because it's just a time when I might be still getting awake a little bit, so we kind of, I sometimes do this kind of work in the morning before I go to my other jobs, so that's how this comes along real fine, and take care of little matters, the little ways they need to be for all the things, for all the good things that we know. This is a little bit of work, the way it comes along. I've got a little ways to come about this, and when we kind of come along here, I will say, now that we kind of got the tails a little thinner than the body, the next step we go about is to try to trim them to a point near their ends. Indeed, maybe every wood may not work, but apparently this part of the project is one that I guess I'd say when you're using a harder wood, it can be fairly simple to do. The kind of work it does is kind of make a project come out simple and great. I'd say there's just a little mess of things here, but of all things, we just kind of gotta manage it so well, take care of little matters the best ways that we can. The matters that seem to be the most to us can be a lot to others, and so I'm thinking when this comes out, it's probably going to come out a pretty fox, because Purpleheart can be a pretty enough wood depending on how well you do it. I know a lot of times people use Purpleheart for furniture. That's probably good use for it too. Unlike many people who might work with wood, I don't really make furniture or shelves or anything like that. I kind of just use it to do artsy stuff like this. I think some of these things, it's kind of like what I was telling you about in those spoons in a previous video. The ones that you really want or need a harder wood in order to carve. Maybe these foxes could come right along the lines of that stuff. Sometimes, just sometimes, even the way that the grain is in the wood, the grain can make it a hard job to do. But in this case, we got the grain right in the direction where it needs to be, so we're getting this all taken care of here, getting matters about like where they need to be. This is going to be the best way work can come out in life. We don't know how this is going to go. We don't know this is going to go as planned. But so far, it kind of seems to be working out for the better. Sometimes also, you know, with the harder woods, kind of got to be a little more careful and protective of yourself, or you might get a cut much more easily. It's kind of what I'm doing here, trying to be as cautious as I can be, make the cuts come out the way they need to be. This little work shall shine a light on us, brighten our days, make us the most happy and blessed people we know. For light shall come and light shall go, and light shall shine everywhere we know. The work shall come quite a ways here, but we manage it well, and we take care of little things and make what we know of things, because the kind of work that's involved here kind of takes us to levels we never thought we'd take. And the work that comes and work that goes, where it stops, no one knows. I finally believe I got a good tail carved out here. I mean, I've carved out better tails on other foxes out of other types of wood, but we're going to try to work on this other one as well here. Try to put the work into it the best way it needs to be. This work is just a little hard for us, but it'll come out as something pretty in the end. I think from what I'm understanding, carving Purpleheart can be just like carving soapstone in a way. There's kind of certain things it's designed for and certain things it isn't, but it turns out that this type of project seems to be one of those things for which it is. Unfortunately, I've got the wood chips going everywhere, but we're going to manage that later. It's just a simple mess for me to clean up. Might be hard for some people, but when you love doing the work so much, you can always kind of clean up the mess it makes later, and that's kind of how it works for me. In this time, we've got to like get this little work here done, and little matters are going to be taken care of. They're going to go quite a ways. We can get this matter into our hands and show people that this is just a matter of the grace we have in us, showing us little characters of love and insecurity, and times we know and times we feel fine and times we understand other people. As you can see, I shave along these lines, trying to get it in the best shape it needs to be, because this work is going to come a long way and share its little faith with us in the long run, because this will be a little hard sometimes to do, but I think I'm also starting to see how I simplify it a little bit, trying to apply a little more time to my work, try to make it come out as good as it needs to be. We got a ways to go here, and I'd say we got a lot of good work here, and in this time we take care of these things and see just how they go. It's just one little thing here and one little thing there. Finally time to shave off the back of the tail right at the point. And I'm telling you all that maybe even out of a wood like this, it might take a few days to do the project, but you get a hang of it sooner or later. It can probably maybe take a couple days here with this. Usually with a different kind of wood, I might be able to carve a fox in just one day, but this kind of work, the way we see it coming, the way we see it going, it's like, ta-da, finally got it made. Just a little time when I think we got the tails a little uneven here. We kind of gotta make this one about the same size as the other. Take its time, take it what it's worth, take what it needs, make the best out of all we got here, and shine the light at the end of the tunnel. For all things are good to us. All things mean the best to us. All things shall shine and go away. It's all good for us. The things we see and the things we know and the things we do, it's all good. We see a bright light coming our way, and ta-da, we finally got the two of them just about where they need to be. So there was also a moment when sometimes you might have to kind of shave along the ears, make sure you kind of get rid of all the unevenness there is among them. I'm taking care of that right now. There's little time when a little work comes along and takes its toll on what you do. Unfortunately, I'm not being very loud this morning because, like I said, I'm pretty tired this morning and still kind of waking up, so here's how it comes along. I will say sooner or later it's probably getting about to the point where these can be ready for a little bit more. Probably going to kind of shave a little bit more around the edges here to kind of make the wood a little more facety. So I'd say that for this video, that is all for today.